So one of the things I love about personal training is the way that ordinarily intelligent and reasonable and rational people turn into, like, you know when you're at school and you're like, Miss, I'm sorry, but like this lion came and it ate all my homework and I couldn't do it because all the pens in the world have been destroyed by aliens and I couldn't find any paper because my mum said I couldn't have any anymore, so I couldn't do my homework and write it down for you, which is why I haven't got it. Like, people turn into that. So, you know, even though it's infuriating being told yet again that someone hasn't done what you want them to do or what you've asked them to do or what they should be doing, at least it's kind of amusing. So when I spoke to Julie about the diet and I said, look, how's it been going, how's everything working out, she's like, yeah, fine, and the only thing is I haven't been able to eat more regularly. And I'm like, why not? Thinking, okay, at least I'm going to get some entertainment here, and she comes up with this.
If I'm not hungry.
I was frankly feeling a little disappointed. It's almost like I'm not worth a proper excuse, you know. So I know you're not going to be hungry, but eating these small regular meals is a fantastic way to boost your metabolism, which ultimately is a fantastic way to help you burn fat more quickly. And we really want to train your body into this as quickly as possible because we're relying on these effects later on in the game. So I duly chastised Julie, ooh, that's a tongue twister, Julie chastised Julie, and she made this video with pence.
We're at the end of week 2, and the lesson that I've learned this week has been regular eating, even when I'm not hungry, which I find incredibly difficult because I don't have a steady job or school or something that keeps me in a routine. So I have to force that upon myself and force myself to eat at certain intervals every 3 to 4 hours, which if you don't have a routine is very hard to do, but something that I've decided I have to make a priority and something that is going to be kind of my goal for this next week is to eat quite regularly and to not ever feel hunger pains.
As you may know, this is the 13th day of the Easter egg diet, and I've lost 1.5 kilograms in that roughly 2 weeks, almost just short of 2 weeks. And you know, so that's pretty good. It's like almost 1 kilogram a week of weight loss. And it's been alright. Like, I've been hungry, definitely hungry. There's no getting away from that because sadly chocolate is very high in calories, and if you're watching how many calories you eat, which is really the point of this whole thing, you're going to be minimizing the amount of food that you eat. So though I'm eating enough calories to keep me sustained, to keep my energy levels up, I am not eating enough food to kind of get into me and keep me feeling full. But that's how it is. It's not too bad. But it does mean I kind of end up in slightly ridiculous situations. So for instance, I was at a party this weekend. A Greek friend of mine was having a housewarming party, and we went round and there was all this lovely Greek food, which is basically meat. I mean, it's just piled high with meat and cheese. It was awesome, except I couldn't eat any of it, so it was less awesome. And my girlfriend was kind of chatting to this guy and going, oh yeah, so Steve's doing this diet, he's only eating chocolate this month, blah 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 blah, is how he's getting on. And I was stood there drinking a ginger beer, and out the corner of my eye, it's like, oi, what's this? And I'm like, ginger beer. And he's like, oh well, that's not chocolate, is it? And I'm like, no, what the hell are you talking about? I'm eating nothing but chocolate. You see all this lovely food out here that I am not eating? That's because I'm eating this chocolate brownie, which though delicious, is not sustaining me in the same way that that big juicy chunk of lamb on the table would. Now I'm drinking some ginger beer, yeah? Which is the only thing which is getting me through this party. So if I'm not suffering enough for you, if I'm too happy for you right now, then you just deal with that, okay? You just deal with that. That's what I wanted to say to him. In fact, what I did say to him was, no, I'm allowed to drink non-chocolatey drinks. That's still within the rules. But yeah, so that's been basically the thing. It's just been grinding along and kind of trying to resist the urge because it's like really weird. My body's just saying, it's like pregnancy or something. My body's just saying, eat this, eat it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I will. And then there's another part of me going, no, you can't. And it's just this constant conflict going on at the moment in my body, just saying, eat this food, you need it. And another part going, no, you're doing this stupid thing. And actually, on that note, I want to say I haven't explicitly said that this is the stupid thing, so I'm going to say, actually I have probably, but anyway, I'm going to say it again. please don't try this at home. This is not me recommending that you eat chocolate in order to lose weight. I've had some people say to me, oh man, if this works, I'm going to try it. It's not that this works, it's that eating less calories works. That's what works, not the chocolate. The chocolate is not the important element to this. So please don't go around going, yeah, okay, I've seen this guy on the internet and the best way to lose weight is to eat only chocolate. It's brilliant, it's brilliant. It's not the way forward, it doesn't work. If you want to lose weight, you need to exercise, you need to watch how many calories you're eating. You can do other little things which will make little differences, but basically people, that's the magic formula. You can follow Julie's plan. Free information is available on my website and in these videos about how to do that. Much more sustainable, much more healthy, much more enjoyable, believe it or not, than a diet of pure chocolate. So there you go, I've said it, disclaimer over, don't try this at home, don't come to me going, I didn't know, there was no way I could possibly have known. Now you know. Moving on. There's a couple of interesting things about food and about our perception of food which I wanted to talk about. So the first thing is this thing called the health food halo effect, which sounds kind of cool, but it's actually just the concept that if you see foods which are labelled as healthy and which are supposed to be good for you and healthy, your attention is immediately removed from whether they are high in calories or high in sugar or high in fat or anything like that. So you have all these things like 100% organic foods, for instance, or low fat foods which may be very high though in carbohydrates and sugars, or lots of other things which we just kind of, you know, don't think about in the same way that maybe we should do because of the fact that our brains have been fooled into thinking, oh, but it's healthy. So what some people did is they took some like normal foods that you'd find in the supermarket. They took some chocolate cookies and plain yogurt, something else, and they packaged them differently. So exactly the same foods, but they packaged them differently. They had organic healthy food here and they had normal, not necessarily organic or healthy food here, and they put them on a plate and they gave them to people and they said, hey, look at this stuff, try this, see what you like better. And almost unanimously everyone said that the organic labelled exactly the same as the other food tasted better. They expected it would cost more, they believed it was worth more money, and they thought it was better quality, even though it's exactly the same as the other stuff. And so for the dangerous thing about this really for me is that for food manufacturers, this is gold. This is like, wait a minute, so I can take this exact same food, I can change the packaging on it, I can charge more for it, and people will eat more of it because they think it's healthier for them. That's awesome. And they're going to do that, and of course that means that you, the people who go out and buy it thinking, oh, I'm eating some really healthy stuff here, are actually not doing and getting really fat and out of shape. And I'm not suggesting that people are writing organic on their food when it's not organic, but there's lots of things which make you think the same thing. So something saying 0% fat doesn't necessarily mean there isn't like enormous amounts of sugar and carbohydrate in it, which means that you will still gain weight if you don't burn those calories off, which, let's face it, you probably won't, even if you do exercise, because of the fact that the calorie levels are huge in these things, and it actually takes quite a lot of work to burn off the same number of calories through exercise. Similarly, things like homemade, hand-cooked, you've got chips with the skins on and stuff like that, and people immediately just think, oh yes, that's healthy, I can do that, I can eat it. But actually no, you still need to kind of think about, okay, so what's in it, what are the quantities? And the second thing, which is kind of along a similar line with that, is the idea of a fat tax. And this idea has been bandied around by different governments for years now, where basically they want to charge people extra for eating high-fat, heart-damaging, horrible foods to offset the costs of their inevitable healthcare bills. So they think, okay, cool, we're just going to charge you some more money for this, and we're going to keep some of that money, and then, you know, when you go to hospital with heart disease, we can use that money to pay for your care. Which I've always thought, yeah, that's a great idea, we should totally do that, yeah. But then actually a study's been done recently which kind of looked into whether that really was such a brilliant idea. And they found that no, the best way to get people to change their eating habits is not by charging them more money, but by putting warning labels on foods. And of course the same thing has been done with cigarettes, as we know. For a few years now they've had warning labels on cigarettes saying smoking kills you, which of course again we've known for what, like 50 years or something. But seeing it on the packaging, I'm sure has had an impact on a lot of smokers' behaviour. Though it hasn't made people stop necessarily, it's at least maybe made people reduce the amount of cigarettes they smoke. And the same would hopefully be true of people who eat a lot of fatty or sugary foods. So it's not about saying, okay, well, you know, you can't eat anything, but just saying, okay, well, this is bad for you and I want you to know that in big shiny letters, and then maybe you'll just eat a little bit less of that on a regular basis, or kind of reduce the portion sizes that you're eating of it, which would be great. The guy who did the research made a really good point. He just said, look, what will happen, first of all, you're going to increase the cost of the food by, you know, a negligent amount, really, like, you know, a couple of pounds, couple of dollars, whatever it is, wherever you come from in the world. It's not going to be an amount which breaks the bank, but if it is, what it will likely do is make people more inclined to bulk buy these things, or to buy, you know, take advantage of like 2-for-1 offers and actually end up getting more of the foods into their house. So really speaking, it's not going to make that big a difference, just because of the fact that if I really like something and it costs £1 or it costs £1.20, I'm still going to buy it. But if it's got a big label on it saying, you know what, this is going to give you heart disease, dude, then maybe I'd think to myself, okay, I'm only going to get one of those, I think, rather than two. So yeah, that's my question of the day today, actually, is what do you think? Is it better to charge people extra money? Is it disincentive for eating unhealthy foods? Or would it be better if you just gave them clear and maybe neon warnings on their food saying, don't eat too much of this, it's not good for you? Please let me know, as always, in the comments below. You know they're below, of course you know that. And that's it, that's kind of what I got for you today. So I will be back next week talking more, obviously, about Julie, a bit more information about the Easter diet, I'll tell you how that's been going. And of course I will definitely have some more news and stuff, and if you're very good, I'll probably have some things as well.